Dozen Customs. Back out here on this Jeep today. I've done a few things off camera since I was last on camera. I sanded down the coat of everything that we put on there last night, and I applied another coat to, like, this whole area. We hadn't done anything with. That's first coat right there. And then this stuff here was just like, we didn't get in far enough into that crevice there, so we needed to, you know, so that's basically a first coat in that crevice because nothing had been coated there yet before. And then this is just, I was hitting some pinholes that were there, and then a couple more pinholes going around. I just put that coat on not that long ago, so it's not dry yet. So I figured that I would start trying to straighten out this roof. You know, I didn't video any of it because I wasn't really sure, you know, what was going to happen or how it was going to go. So I don't know how well you guys can see this in the camera, but like, I mean, this roof is just beat to crap. So let me see if I can, yeah, I guess you guys can see that in the camera, like how bad the roof is. So this back here looked just like the front. So it's not perfect by any means. You know, there's still a lot of dings and dents and everything in it. This was, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or so. You know, I kind of worked on this area and I worked on this area here. Now, working with this guy up there, like, it is very, very difficult to control it. You know, it's on a foot pedal, which, you know, I'm not really a super fan of these foot pedals. My foot doesn't fit in there. So, you know, I have big feet and I'm wearing steel toe. Like, I would need to be barefoot to get my foot in there. I can't get my foot in that thing. So I just have like the tip of my toe on it, and, you know, every couple of minutes, you know, that thing moves or something and my foot comes off the trigger. So I'm sitting there trying to hold this thing up there, which is not light. You know, I understand why they make certain tools for this that are much lighter and much easier to control. And I've seen a lot of them that have hand controls instead of a foot control. So I think the hand control would be much nicer, and it being lighter would be much nicer. Plus, you know, if you guys know this tool, you know, this is a tool that you can get. This is off of Amazon, but Eastwood has the exact same tool. But how this works is that this thing has a bunch of different notches on it, and there's a handle on it to turn this and adjust how high this goes. Now, this tool, you know, it's just increments of adjustment. Like, it's like an 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, you know, and maybe another 1/2 inch. I don't know the exact increments of it, but it's not much. So for me to have the thing up as high as it can go, you know, that's it. It can't go any higher. and I had to put a zip tie on it to lock it at that height, because as I started working it back and forth and using it, that thing just turned on its own from all the movement and vibrations. And then I wasn't even hammering nothing. I'm sitting there going back and forth with it, and I'm like, dude, why isn't this thing doing anything? So I looked up underneath there and seen that we weren't even touching the bottom of the roof. So I cranked it all the way up and put a zip tie on it so that it couldn't move anymore. And then there's an air dial on the top, which is very touchy. But the harder you hit it, the more it's going to stretch the metal. So you just kind of want to plenish it. It's a plenishing hammer. You don't want to, you don't want to go crazy. You don't want to stretch out the metal. Well, up there trying to hold that, trying to keep my foot on a pedal that my foot doesn't fit in, and I'm trying to adjust the dial up there while holding it, it got out of control on me a couple times and gave me a whole bunch of hard hammer marks in there, which it got the dent out, which I'm happy that it got the dent out. I'd rather have a whole bunch of little hammer marks than a big dent. But I don't like the little hammer marks either. So what I did after probably 10 minutes of running over everything, and my arms started getting tired from holding that thing up there, I decided to try this guy again. If you guys haven't seen the videos of this, I made this. I got this thing from Harbor Freight. It is an air nailer. What you do, you hold the framing nail with one hand, or like a framing nail, big nail with one hand, and this thing goes on the top of it, and as you press this down, it goes bam, 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 bam. So I made this and turned this into like a palm style plenishing hammer. You can go back, you can watch the video how I did it. I didn't really do a whole lot, just took a block of steel, cleaned it up, turned it into like a little dolly. I drilled a hole through the center, and we stuck a piece of bar through it that fit in the end where it hammers, and we welded that up. So it goes all the way through here. And I turned it into like a plenishing hammer. When I very first did that, like, this thing hits hard and fast. And like, I did a little bit of work on this CAD back here with it, and it was awesome. And I was like, I can make it a little bit better. And I went to do it a little bit better, and like, it stretched the crap out of the metal, and then I had to heat shrink it. So since then, I don't know that was on video, but this thing can get crazy on you real fast. So since then, I have put this on there. And that makes all the difference. Make sure that if you're gonna use something like this, create this tool, make sure you have a valve on it, because it'll get out of control real fast. So that seems to be working much better. It's easier to control. The only thing that I would say is difficult is that you got to have a dolly in one hand up underneath the roof. You got to be able to get to both sides. And then you got this tool, and you got to try and move your hands together at the same spot. And you can't see what you're doing underneath inside the roof. So, it's easy to get off kilter real easy. So, that was the only, thing with it, is that you just got to kind of work both hands together, and that seemed to work. Now it's not making it absolutely perfect, as you can see. I mean, there's still some dings and some wrinkles up there, but it took out 80% of what was there, which I am completely happy with. What my goal is with this roof, I don't have the proper tools to fix it. I need one of these that are big and long, and they're made out of pipe with maybe a hand control on it, so that I can get up there and work with this properly. Also, this tool, I only have a few different kinds of dies or dollies, whatever you want to call them, that go in it. It only came with like 3 in the kit. And there's one that's kind of shallow, there's one that's kind of medium, and then there's one that's kind of pointy. So I have the shallowest one on here. So if I can get this roof 80%, because like I said, I don't have the proper tools to try and straighten this roof, but I want to try and straighten it as best as we can, because I've said it in other videos. When I stripped this roof, I mean, I'm not kidding you, it was 3/4 of an inch thick to an inch thick in some areas. The Bondo was. So, you know, where there's big dents, like, I mean, it was this thick where there's big dents. So I don't want that much filler on. I never try and put that much filler on anything ever. You know, if I have to, you know, I'll cut stuff out and replace metal, and do what I need to do to keep that filler down to a minimum. So if we can run around this roof and knock out 80% of the dents and just leave ourselves with some wrinkles and maybe some dings, you know, I'm okay with that. So that's, you know, that's what we're trying to you know, accomplish here, is just not perfect, just better. And I think with what I've been doing here so far, you know, I think we're on the way to doing that. What I might do is maybe have Colleen come out here and sit out here and have her work the foot pedal, so that I don't have to try and control this thing up here and stick my foot that doesn't fit in this foot pedal. And maybe try that. Or we're just gonna do it all with this, because this seemed to work. So I don't, you know, we'll have to see how things go. I was just kind of, I guess, doing a test, I had this idea in my head of how I was going to get it straightened out, but we haven't tried that idea out yet. So I just spent a few minutes, I tried it out. Regardless of which one we're going to go with, it's working. So, you know, I have an idea of what I'm going to do. I think I need Colleen out here to try and work this foot pedal for me. Or, you know, we're going to do this setup as well. So yeah, I think it's about lunchtime, so I'm gonna go in. I know you guys didn't get to see anything exciting, but I explained what we got going on, and it's working, and there will be videos of this, so stay tuned. See you guys back here in a bit. Dave here, back out here on this Jeep roof. We got that fender sanded down. I think it looks really good. We're ready to put the front end back together. I might need some help doing that, just so that we don't chip or scratch any of the fresh primer. And I don't have that help at the moment, so we're gonna jump back over here on the roof, and I'm gonna kind of show you guys, you know, what I kind of did back here on this side, which is 100 times better than what it was. So I'm gonna start working this area a little bit. We're gonna use this. We're gonna use my hand plenisher that I made, and you know, we'll see what we can get done. See if we can make this a little bit better. All right, well, it's coming out a lot better than it was. I think we're, you know, definitely headed in the right direction. As you can see, I broke my tool. Yeah. So you know, I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that, like, the bar that I use for it is just some bar that I had over in my scrap pile over there. And it's just, you know, it's one of those bars that you can go up to Menards in their little metal department area they have there. And that's what I used. And it wasn't, you know, some hardened piece of steel or something that I used. It was just a regular piece of metal. And we broke it. It happens. But so far so good. I'm happy with the way that this is coming out. I'm going to have to fix my tool. So we'll just drill everything out and I'll put a new bar in it, and we'll go at it again. So we'll be back. Much better. It's starting to look like a roof again. So for those of you who, you know, try to make this tool and have what just happened to me happen, this bottom base right here unscrews, and I unscrewed it, and I was able to take this piece out and then put it in a vise and hammer my bar out. And you can see, like, it almost looks like that is a machined part, but it's not. It's the part that we stuck in there that broke, and just from it being hammered, it took the shape of the inside of this piece. And like I said, it looks like a machined part. It's pretty cool, pretty crazy. I'm glad that it came out easy. So just take this thing apart. I put this in a vise and I hammered it out with the chisel. It took a couple of good whacks, but it came out. So now I'm gonna so you can see this piece, you know, I broke off from there. So now I'm gonna grind this flat. And we'll stick this in the drill press, and I'll drill that out. We'll stick a new bar in there, weld it back up, and we'll be good to go. But ended up remaking this piece, so we're good to go there. I just put it in the drill press, drilled out the old piece, got a new piece, stuck it in there, welded it up. Only thing I kind of goofed up on was I put the pin in on the wrong side. We had this side all cleaned up and polished for the hammering part. So I had to clean and polish up this side. Not a big deal. Got her done. She's ready to go. But I'm not gonna do any more of that tonight. I did a little bit more just hand hammering on this driver's side. It's 9:30 at night, which isn't horrible. But I went in the house at 9 o'clock to get some more coffee. And the wife was in there and she said, "What are you doing out there?" She's like, "I can feel it in the house." So she said it was super loud and she could feel it. So that means the neighbors next door here, they can hear it. So I'm not gonna do any more tonight. We'll have to continue on tomorrow. I think other than maybe just a couple of spots that maybe need a little fine tuning on the driver's side. I think the driver's side is pretty much good enough. So tomorrow we'll work on the passenger side and try and get that all straightened out. And then once we get it straightened out, we'll grind it up and clean it up and start getting it ready for body work. So I'm real happy with the way that everything's turning out. Like I said, it's not perfect, but you know, before we started, I would say it was a 0. Like, it was bad. And now I'd say, you know, we're 80-85%. So I'm happy with that. Gonna be much better, a lot less filler than what was on there before. It looks good. I mean, just like sitting here looking at it, I'm happy with it. You know, is it primable and paintable? No, but it's definitely good enough for what it was and what I was expecting out of it. We didn't have any issues with the metal stretching out. I was a little worried with how bad the roof was, that when we started to take the stuff out of, you know, the dents out, that the metal was going to be all stretched out. We were going to have major tin can problems, and so far, you know, it's coming out okay. We haven't finished it yet, but you know, I think we're good to go. If you look behind me, you can see that I got the punishing hammer over on the passenger side. Started working on it, forgot to turn the camera on. I only got maybe like 10 minutes into it, and I had to stop, and my arms are killing me from doing the driver's side yesterday. Trying to hold that punishing hammer up there, man, that thing is heavy, it's awkward. And you know, I'm holding it up here like this because the truck's so tall, even though I am standing on a platform over there. You know, my arms are up here when I'm working. So anyways, I turned you guys on now. I did get, I got all the dents along the front windshield. Well, not all of them, but I started working along that front windshield there, getting that knocked out. We still got some more to go. Figured I'd turn on the camera. Well, I remembered that I wasn't filming. So, but yeah, let's get back to it. I did, you know, put that tool back together and we're back in business. We'll see how long it lasts. You know, with that tool, you know, if I got it, it works awesome for like what I'm doing. I'm super happy I have that tool. But it didn't last very long. I haven't done a whole lot with that thing, and it broke. Now, it didn't take much for me to repair it. You know, it maybe took, I spent 30 minutes, you know, grinding everything down, drilling it out, putting a new pin in it, you know, welding the pin in upside down, so I had to refinish that bottom side. Not a big deal, but you know, hopefully it lasts a little longer. We'll see, you know, if we can make it through that side of the roof before it breaks again. So, you know, before I did some playing on the table with it here, and then I did some repairs on the back of the cab over there with it, and then we did, you know, some of the driver's side of the roof, and it broke. So, like I said, it didn't last very long. So hopefully we can get through the passenger side, and not have to fix again. If we do, not a big deal. I got plenty of those pins. We'll just repair it. Back to work. So, I know I videoed some of this yesterday, and I got some pictures of it, but, like, you know, I don't know if you guys remember what that looked like from before, but, that was... That was pretty bad over there, and we got it pretty straightened out. Let's see, can I see? Oh. Nah, you guys don't fit up there. Super close. I've been meaning to make a taller one of these. For just this reason. So I've gone as far as I can with the plenishing hammer. I wish the plenishing hammer would have done a little bit better of a job than it did. You know, I really just think it's not the right machine for what I'm trying to do with it. I attempted to use it because it's what I have. Now don't get me wrong, it worked. It did what I wanted it to do. It took the dents out of the roof, but not as clean as I would have hoped. Now that has to do with, you know, the adjustment on it. You know, it just don't have adjustment like the tool that I need for this. And then the dollies that comes with it aren't the right dollies either. It definitely worked. I'm happy with what it did. I just wish, you know, we could have done a little bit better of a job. The machine that I need, Carl over at Make It Custom makes them. And I would love to have one of his. Just unfortunately at the moment, it's out of my budget. When I have the money to spend on it, I will definitely be getting it. So, but I've gone as far as I can with it, reach-wise. You know, it's possible maybe I could go in through the back window, but I think I can do it with the little one, and I think we'll be fine. So we're gonna finish it off with the little one, and I think I'm done with this one. You know, we'll see. If I gotta go through the back window, I will. I don't know if it'll work though. Okay, I don't know what got recorded and what didn't. I just came and checked the camera and I seen that it was off. So, took the plenishing hammer off of there. I reached what I could with it. And the rest of it I did with the palm guy. And right when I got it done, the tool broke again. So, not like I said, not a big deal, but you know, it broke off just the same as it did yesterday, but we were able to get the roof done. So it, like I said, it's not perfect, but it looks much better. It stinks out here so bad. I don't know when the camera shut off, but I was up here working on this and I stopped and I kind of looked around and I looked at the camera and I smelled my tool and I was like, ugh, and I kept working. Well, the tool broke, so I stopped making noise, and Colleen came over the walkie-talkie saying that a skunk sprayed outside the back porch. So that's what I was smelling in here. So it's snowing out right now, and it's snowing really, really heavy. So everything is covered in fresh snow out there. And I don't see any tracks anywhere on our property. I walked out to the street to see if maybe one got ran over by a car. We don't have many skunks around here. Like, I've only seen 2 since we moved in, you know, 4 years ago or whatnot. So, I didn't see nothing out in the street. I walked back. I, you know, looked around the property, see if I could see any tracks anywhere. I don't see anything over here. But as you walk out the shop and start to walk down towards the house, it gets worse. And I keep telling you guys, like, I have neighbors that are like right outside this shop. And they have 2 or 3 little poodles, little yipper things. I wonder if their dogs they went after a skunk out there. So, but anyways, like I said, so I climbed up back here, got a ladder and everything, and we knocked out, you know, oh, excuse me, you guys got snagged on my coat there. I don't know how much of this I got on camera before, but this from this corner, well, actually it started at the front here and it went all the way down, all the way over to the other side. It was just hammered, just huge dents. So, you know, like I said, I think we got most of it out. I'm happy with it. This back here did not come out as nice as this stuff up here. But I was not able to reach this with the plenishing hammer. I could only reach like this far with the plenishing hammer, and the rest was either done with just a hand hammer or this palm nailer plenishing hammer thingy I made. So, but we got the majority of all that heavy stuff out. And you know, I've said that there was an inch of Bondo on that, and you know, all those dents that were in it, that's, you know, that's where it was all at. You know, was the entire roof an inch thick? No, but it was thick. There, you know, that whole roof was coated, I would say, you know, at least 1/4 of an inch, and then everywhere there was a dent, it went up from there. So, but we got it all, you know, mostly out. I wish I could do that back a little bit better. I don't know. So reaching up through that back window with either the block or that hand nailer, no matter which way I went with it, the top seemed to be okay, but underneath like it didn't seem like, seemed like the tool was dying. Like it didn't want to hammer. Like it would do a few hammer hits and then stop. And as I moved around, it would start again. And then, so I don't know if I'm just like angled in there wrong. I got the cord pulling on me. I'm reaching through a window trying to get in there. It just didn't seem like it was hitting the way that like it was yesterday. Or even the way that it was up on the front corner over here. So I don't know, you know, that the tool was kind of an experiment. I don't know if it's dying or what the deal is with it. It could just be I was on an angle, I wasn't pushing straight down on it. Who knows? But it is what it is. It's way better. I'm happy with it. Could it be a little bit better? Yeah. Is it gonna get a little bit better? I don't think so. You know, if I do anything else with it, it'll probably be by hand, with just a dolly in there and just, you know, try and hammer and maybe see if I can get a little bit more out of it. But I think right now I am done making noise. It's almost 9 o'clock. I know I try and close up shop by 10 o'clock and stop making noise. You know, we're unincorporated. We're out in the country. They say 11 o'clock for blowing off fireworks. You know, could I work out here all night long? I'm sure I could. But I don't want to disturb the people next door. And out here banging and hammering on stuff at 9 o'clock at night, you know, on a Wednesday, you know, I'm just not gonna do it. So I think we're gonna stop banging on the roof for right now. I'm gonna end the video here. If I end up doing anything else, I'll turn the camera back on. I think tomorrow we're probably gonna work on putting the front end back on. I would have Colleen come out and help me right now, but it smells so bad out here for like a skunk. She's not gonna want to come out here. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining us. Sorry the camera died in the middle of it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed me getting that roof straightened out, and we got it pretty well straightened out compared to what it was. So see you guys later. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. I'm out. So I just went outside and was standing out there because it's snowing real good. It's pretty cool out there. But I looked over at the 47, which is parked right in front of this door right here. And you can see some animal tracks coming out from underneath the 47. And then it looks like it scurried and back under the front of the 47. And I bet it was a skunk, and it came out from under the 47, and me in here hammering on this roof scared it, and it sprayed. So just wanted to share that with you guys. See ya.
Oop.